You're not trying to make something real. You're rather entering a state where it is already felt natural to you. And this how acceptance is granted from your side. And this is what Neville Goddard shows us in his chapter 13 of his The Power of Awareness book. Welcome, you guys. Welcome to our Nervous System Plus Neville Goddard's teachings. Today we will explore his chapter 13, Acceptance. It is a very important chapter because it is not about letting go, as some might say. It's about something much more precise in here. It's about when your state stops feeling separate from you, the desired state, and when imagination feels more real than the outer world, and when your system no longer questions it. So he actually shows us how to bring ourselves into the reality that we actually want, okay, through acceptance. So let's begin. However much you seem to be living in a material world, you're actually living in a world of imagination. The outer physical events of life are the fruit of forgotten blossom times, result of previous and usually forgotten states of consciousness, he says. They are the ends running true to oftentimes forgotten imaginative origins. Alright, so what you're experiencing now, this is actually old news. Even Abraham Hicks says it. It's the old news. The hologram that we're living in, the simulation, the place that we call reality, actually lacks. So this is your accepted state that you accepted yesterday and you felt it was normal, okay? So you occupied it previously, and it was a consistent occupation. So your system organizes reality based on what really feels most real to you over time. Not necessarily if you like it, not necessarily. It's just what feels normal to you, what you accepted based on the lack of your boundaries and your life's exposure so far, based on your beliefs overall. Because to be honest, beliefs are the only what actually shaping our reality. So you're not reacting to reality, you're rather experiencing the continuation of your own state, okay? So this is what it says in this paragraph. Whenever you become completely absorbed in an emotional state, you are at that moment assuming the feeling of the state fulfilled. If persisted in whatsoever you are intensely emotional about, you will experience in your world. These periods of absorption of concentrated attention are the beginnings of the things that you harvest. Be mindful, he does mention here emotional state, but overall it's not only about emotions. He is not talking about fleeting emotions, just seeing a birdie, being happy about it, and in 5 minutes forgetting about that. No. What he means the state, the feeling within your body. What's felt good or bad for you. So I want you to think even about the moments where you were fully immersed. You can remember yourself either working on certain project or dreaming or like daydreaming, right? Or cooking or doing anything. If you think about it, you'll remember yourself even checking the time and not believing how much time it has passed because you were so immersed in whatever you were doing. Because your system stopped checking, it stopped literally comparing. It stopped looping the thoughts that were kind of familiar to you. So you entered this state at that time. You were in the flow of something, okay? So the moment you're fully in it, your system treats it as real. So this is what Neville means by intensely emotional about. It is about the overall state that you were put in for quite some time. All right. It is in such moments that you are experiencing your creative power, the only creative power there is. At the end of these periods or moments of absorption, you speed from these imaginative states to where you were physically an instant ago. In these periods, the imagined state is so real that when you return to the objective world, the now, the reality of now, and find that it is not the same as the imagined state that you were occupying, it is an actual shock to you. You've seen something in imagination with such vividness that you now wonder whether the evidence of your senses cannot be believed, and, like kids, you ask, was it a vision or a waking dream? Flat is that music. Do I wake or sleep? Alright, so yes, we've all been in these moments. We've all experienced that. Actually, he's talking about the concept of firing the positron, the positively charged electron. I will introduce you to this concept on the other video. So it means that when you imagine something really vividly, and then you open your eyes and you're faced with the current reality, that contrast feels sharp to you initially. You're kind of even shocked. You cannot believe that you've been in certain place and you felt those emotions, and perhaps you felt even sensory vividness of the reality in your imagination, and here you are as if waking up from that dream. It means actually it's working, and you're kind of in shock, not because imagination was fake, but rather because you so vividly but briefly occupied a state that it felt more certain internally for you. Okay? It's a very good sign. To be honest, it's a very good sign. So the shock is not confusion, it is rather a contrast between two states. And if you felt the desired state so vividly, it means that it's not that far from you. It's good news. This shock reverses your time sense, but this is meant that instead of your experience resulting from your past, it now becomes the result of being in imagination where you have not yet been physically. So in effect, this moves you across a bridge of incident to the physical realization of your imagined state. Alright, so he promises here action from the universe itself. So you're no longer reacting from the past. In here, you are moving from what you just experienced internally in this situation when you felt it was so real. So your system begins to automatically orient toward what you felt yourself to be, not what you used to be. So what you felt yourself to be, it felt more real than what you are currently know yourself to be, right? So your future starts forming effortlessly from where you've already been, and it starts from your internal positioning. If you also keep returning to that state over and over and again, but not necessarily having the same kind of shock aftertaste, let's call it that way, but rather just returning to remind yourself of that state that you have previously occupied. The man who at will can assume whatever state he pleases has found the keys to the kingdom of heaven. The keys are desire, imagination, and a steadily focused attention on the feeling of the wish fulfilled. To such a man, any undesirable objective fact is no longer reality, and the ardent wish no longer a dream. It's not about wanting something, only wanting something, okay? It's more about the process of its unfolding, meaning you're entering a state, you're staying with it. And when you return, or rather, when you forget about that state, you gently return back to it. And it's not that effortful to you anymore, okay? It feel more effortless to you. So it's much better when you catch yourself with that. It's even good when you're conscious when your system takes you out from this state. Because when you catch yourself, aha, I left the state, and then you deliberately bring yourself back to the desired state, it works even better because no longer will you feel effort around that. Because as many times you will bring yourself back to it, it will feel more natural to you. It will feel more like you. Okay? So repetition without force will build a familiarity for you. And that will become eventually a stable ground. So do not force a state, you guys, all right? You gently return to it until it really feels normal. The windows of heaven may not be opened and the treasure seized by strong will, but they open of themselves and present their treasures as a free gift, a gift that comes when absorption reaches such a degree that it results in a feeling of complete acceptance, like feeling normal. Many people read this chapter and they kind of whatever. They do not read it right. They do not understand it right. They think that what he means by seized by strong will, right? And the absorption reaches such a degree that it results in a feeling of complete acceptance. They think it's the escapism or kind of a effort, right? They try harder, they convince themselves harder. They even convince their family and friends and the outer world that they're trying to outsmart the system. Ain't gonna work that way. So it's not about feeling more. It's not about holding the state longer in effort. It's just about catching yourself when your system stops resisting the state. It's not when you push it. You guys, manifestation unfolds only when the state no longer feels unfamiliar to you. It has to feel familiar. It has to feel normal. You cannot have something that you're not ready to accept yet. Have you felt that desire? Everybody has it, okay? But if I work on my belief systems, if I work on regulating my nervous system and getting my body ready and be receptive to receiving whatever I desire without putting those rules, how it must come, it will come. All right. So you have to catch yourself. Are you ready? Like really ready? Are you ready to the extent you're not gonna screw that up once it even appears in your life? Because not only when you're ready you can receive it, but also you can keep it. All right? The passage from your present state to the feeling of your visual field is not across a gap. There is continuity between the so-called real and unreal. To cross from one state to the other, you simply extend your feelers, trust your touch, and enter fully into the spirit of what you are doing. Alright, so you do not really jump into a new reality here. You gradually extend into it. Extend your feelers, right? So through subtle familiarity, you will kind of feel it, return to it, and then you stop rejecting your system, and your mind stops rejecting it as something apart, as something not within you. So instead of seeing your desire apart from you, you will see it as part of you. So you do not reach your desire, you grow into it, you welcome it, you are it. Assume the spirit, the feeling of the wish fulfilled, and you will have opened the windows to receive the blessing. To assume a state is to get into the spirit of it. Let's finish it. Your triumphs will be a surprise only to those who did not know your hidden passage from the state of longing to the assumption of the wish fulfilled. The Lord of hosts will not respond to your wish until you have assumed the feeling of already being what you want to be, for acceptance is the channel of His action. Acceptance is the Lord of hosts in action. Awesome. I love the way he wrote it. Beautiful. So, you guys, important, acceptance is not forcing belief. It's not repeating affirmations like a robot. It's not convincing yourself, not visualizing forcingly. It's not approaching manifestation as a duty. Because to be honest, I've been there. I did approach manifestation as duty for some time. And I identified myself as the one who manifests rather than the one who has it. You understand what I mean? It means that you're identifying yourself with someone who doesn't have your desire yet. But when you actually look at your desire as your extension, as something not to reach but rather welcome, this is when you allow the world orchestrate everything on your behalf. And if it comes effortlessly to you, it means that it's working, because your mind, the mind that created the desire and felt the distance from it, cannot come up with ideas how to welcome it. Only the world that is ready to your receptivity can deliver you what you want. So you have to put yourself in the receptive mode for your desire. Okay, so your system must stop questioning, and your attention will stop checking things, how to get it, through whom it is gonna come, and on what terms. Jesus, you rather allow for it to become normal to you. Okay, so for tonight, what I want you to do, there's an exercise. I want you to close your eyes, and I want you to bring one simple moment that implies that your desire is already part of your life. Okay? Do not make it a full story. I want you to just focus on the fragment of it is being already accomplished. So this chapter, acceptance, is not about really believing harder or convincing yourself harder, right? It's rather showing you that you can enter through imagination. Yes, you can. Your system recognizes what really is felt real to you, and over time it will become normal to you if you internally accept it as real. Okay? So, I hope you liked it. Let's forget about manifesting with force, and we will just embody the understanding that we manifest when it stops feeling new to us, when it starts feeling natural to us. Okay, so I hope to see you on the next one. Take care.